Hello, it's Paula and welcome back to my channel How Not To, and I'm doing another DIY video. This time it's going to be with masks. I've been buying different kinds of masks because all the masks are made in different ways and some fit well on my face and others don't. So I got this white mask from Canadian Tire. I don't remember what the brand is, but it's made out of t-shirt material. I would almost say like men's underwear, like those boxer brief underwear material. So it's very stretchy and it's very light. I believe it's 2 layers, but it's so thin. What droplets is this stopping? I don't think that's gonna be enough. And when you put it on your face, it's so tight on your face, you can see your lips move and it just looks ridiculous. The masks were $14 for 2, so like that was pretty hefty price for some weird mask. So what I'm trying to do is add another layer and give it a little bit of extra room so that it's not so snug to my face. Also adding a pattern to it so that my lips hide. So what I did was I took one of my daughter's old tank tops. It was all stained here from sunscreen and stuff, and it's too small for her, so I thought the picture of the cat was cute on there. And because this is just one solid piece, there's no seams in there of fabric, I figured I could replicate that. I flattened out the t-shirt on my sewing table, and I placed this and set it on top of the picture of the cat so that you'd be able to get most of the cat's face. It cut off the ears and I almost wasn't able to get the little mouth, but I think it's relatively good. It's not centered and I'm not too worried about that because this is the first time I'm doing this, so we'll see if it even works. I'm folding over the edge and then I'm just gonna sew it through there. Also, I bought this mask from a dollar store and it is very thin. It is only 1 layer. I don't think it's cotton at all, it doesn't say, but it is 2 pieces sewn together. It fits okay over my face, I don't mind it, and it fits my ears all right. And it's not too bad, but it's just so thin. What is it stopping? So I wanted to make another cover over this one. Does it make a difference? I don't know, but it makes me feel better, and I thought, well, what a fun experiment to try. I took one side of it and placed it on the leftover t-shirts, and I got this shape out of it, which is a nice purple detail. Then I flipped it over and I cut out this piece here to get the pineapple. When it comes together, it should look something like that. Just something fun and colorful, and then just adds another layer. So I've cut the 2 halves, and now I'm going to try to make sure that both sides are equal and that it's actually going to work. When you want your design to face outward, you put the 2 designs together. You see the blank part of it, and then you want to match it as close as you can to the points. I was just doing a rough sketch, so there's going to be a lot of open spots like this. See, I didn't leave enough fabric here, so this one's peeking over, so I'm going to have to cut this part off to make it match the same side. But that's relatively close enough, so let's fix this side. Now I've got this piece, and you can see that they sewed that there. So this side is going to be sewn, and then I'm going to sew this side. How am I going to do that? What I'm going to do first, before I start figuring out how I'm going to sew the sides, I'm also going to just sew this edge. I'm planning not to sew it across here, to leave that open, so if I want to add a filter in there, I can. As far as I can tell, there's no need to sew that, and it'll probably help it stretch a bit more too. To start, I'm just going to focus on getting the seam together and finishing off the edges here, and then placing it over top and seeing how that's going to look. So I'm going to get my sewing machine set up. So now I'm just going to pin this down. I'm going to roll it over twice just to make sure that the t-shirt doesn't unravel over time. And I'm going to do it to the other side as well. Okay, and then we're just going to do just a simple stitch. So I'm going to put it back on the straight stitch. I am not a professional sewer, I just do quick fixes. I'm not a perfectionist, so this is probably going to look like a hack job, but I don't care because it's This is just for me. I'm not gifting this to anybody or anything. This is going well already. So there we have our not so pretty stitching, but it gets the job done. So we'll do the other side. Okay, there we go. And now we're going to put the two pieces together. Using a straight stitch. There we go. Cut off all the excess. Well, that lined up really well. Look at that. Professional. Look at that. I am a genius. So I'm going to fix that up. Go. Now I'm just going to make little cuts along here. Fold the other way out and have a nice curve to it so there aren't too many big lumps and bumps. Look at that stitching. That is what tension is all about. It's not. I should have changed the tension because of the fabric. I stretched it out, that's why. So then we're gonna flip it over and we have just a fun decoration there. Now we want to smooth out these edges, and I'm hoping I can just sew along the edges, and because this is open, then turn it inside out. I want what faces outward, I want this facing outward as well. I want this touching my face so that I know that it folds right. So I'm putting that on the inside, that when I turn it outside, that's going to be facing on the outside. I also want this facing outside, so I'm putting on the inside so that when I turn it outside, it faces the outside. And we're going to see how it goes. So first I'm going to secure the middle to make sure that the seams don't get too out of whack. It's hard because this fabric is so flimsy. Okay, and then I'm going to secure the sides. Instead of going on this side, I'm going to go on this side to try to make sure I've got the stretch evened out a little bit. That's my theory. We'll see. Okay, and then I'm going to do it to the other side. All right, there we go. There's our experimental mask. So here we go. We're gonna see if this is gonna work. I'm gonna zigzag the edge. We will see how this turns out. That's better. Pins out as I go. Pretty sure my aunts and my grandmother would have a heart attack if they knew I was sewing like this. What can I say? I'm innovative. Okay, there's one side. Beautiful. All right, let's try the other side now. Maybe this edge will look a little prettier. I'm gonna try the tension, change it up a little bit. That beautiful scalloped edge we got here. So we've got our sad looking edges. Let's see how awful this is going to look. Okay, so we've got There's stitches. Did those meet? Not bad. They're kind of pulling apart a little bit, but not bad considering this is pretty much a hack job. Look at those seams lining up. Ha! You'd think I'd know what I was doing. There we have it. It's not pretty, but hopefully it doesn't look as ridiculous. The moment of truth. Perfect. I think what I'm gonna do is pinch those together and sew them so they're not as baggy. But that feels like it's actually blocking droplets from entering. That feels much thicker. So I do appreciate that. I just folded these two things together and then I just sewed them a little piece like that. And so now I'm just gonna do the other side. So I just took the fabric and pinched it together like that. Create a little fold. And I'm not making sure it's even. You could try to make sure it's even if you wanted to, if you were so inclined to make it actually look nice and resembling quality of some sort. Okay, now I'm gonna flip it back over. Test number 2. That's a bit better. It's not as flaily-outy. It's not perfect. It feels a lot better. It's not like I go anywhere, so this would just be to like run into a store. And I think it's nice. I think it's colorful. It adds a little bit of pizzazz, and it makes me feel like this mask is actually doing something. So here's one mask, and let's get right to the other one. So we're gonna start at the corner. I think I'm just gonna do straight stitch for now. If I have to go back and correct it, then I'll do zigzag. Whoa, that was cool. Oops, did I even get that? Oh, my precision is astounding. You know what? That was too easy. Now I'm scared. Look at that beautiful line. Oh, I am on top of my sewing game. Check me out. Hopefully I'm not bleeding anywhere. I keep poking myself with these pins. Okay guys, this is it. Here it goes. Oh, that feels much better. And you can still kind of see my lip, but only if I push really hard. And you can see the cat. It's cute. Feed my cat here. If you like a treat, kitty, here, have a treat. So yeah, that's one of the masks. So that was my mask tutorial. Let's call it a DIY because it's not really a tutorial. I was just experimenting with some sewing. And this is one of the results. So thank you for joining me. I hope you learned something about how not to sew. If you have any tips for me for next time, whether it's the tension or the needle or the thread, anything like that, this would be great to up my sewing game because clearly it's lacking. Whew. Thank you for joining me. I hope you had fun watching my experimentation with sewing masks. If you want to change up your masks, please send me a picture or something. Check out my Instagram at how.nottobeauty, I think. Mention it in the comments on my YouTube channel or message me on my Instagram. Show me what you did. I would love to see your creativeness and possibly a better way to tackle what I just did. Until next time, I'll see you later and take care and stay safe. Bye!